Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Man, good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Saturday night, Saturday 20th of June. I must apologize for the lateness. I was hearing some feedback a while ago, and I didn't know where the feedback was coming from. And if I didn't sort it out, the feedback, it would have given me a massive feedback sound. So I had to sort it out. And yes, I found it just in time. I want to thank those who are joining me, those on TikTok, those on Facebook, those on YouTube, and those on Instagram. Thank you so much for tonight. And remember to like and to subscribe and to share. And the topic tonight is who speaks for Jamaicans, accountability and transparency. Vanessa McLean, what's up? What's up? Loudmouth Vanessa McLean. As a matter of fact, Vanessa, it's up to you, of course. You're always invited, even to come on and just let me just say yes, and I'll send you a link or so, and that is also very interesting. But listen, I think we have been talking about this topic for the past week now in regards to Jamaica, and any person who loves Jamaica and is interested in Jamaica um, will not scoff at what is happening there now. And guess what? But the funny thing about it is that every time Jamaica has something, they call it a 9-day wonder or a 2-day wonder or something like that. Means to say something is always happening. Some always happening, yard. But tonight we want to examine two issues, yeah? And that may separate at first glance, appear separate at first glance. But in reality, are connected by one central theme, which is accountability. Thanks for those who are joining me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. TikTok, of course, you won't be seeing the guest, but you can hear the voices. Um, the first issue concerns report and discussions surrounding the possibility of Jamaica becoming a destination of transshipment point for non-Jamaican deportees from the United States. Some have drawn comparisons with the UK's former Rwanda policy, as whether smaller nations are increasingly being asked to help solve migration challenges created by larger nations. Supporters may argue that international cooperation is complex and necessary in this world. They may point to potential economic benefits, diplomatic partnership, and strategic opportunities. Others ask for a more fundamental question: should Jamaica accept responsibility for individuals or not Jamaican citizens, and what impact could such a decision have on our communities, public services, national security, and national identity? These are not simple questions, ladies and gentlemen. They require careful thought, informed debate, and above all, transparency from those entrusted with making decisions on behalf of the Jamaican people. It's interesting when I keep saying transparency all the while, transparency, accountability, because it falls within the ambit of the seven Nolan principles. It falls within the ambit of the seven integrity commission, these code of conduct which parliamentarians or officers or public officials need to adhere to. But this brings also to a second point, which still revolves around transparency, accountability, and recent developments also involve allegations and investigation concerning public officials or a public official have once again been raised question about integrity in public life. And this is with Dr. Wheatley, who has been charged, you know, for illicit corruption, you know, and that is the difference between being investigated and being charged is something fundamental. And you ask the question you ask yourself is, well, if someone is being charged for illicit enrichment, then should such a person step aside, as the song says, step aside now? Should they step aside in the interim while the investigation is taking place? The people of Jamaica work hard, they pay taxes, they obey the law. Well, those who do, they expect those who elected or appointed positions of authority to do the same or should do so. Democracy is simply not about voting every few years. And that is something I keep saying all the while. Democracy is about ensuring that those who exercise power remain accountable to the people who gave them that power in the first place. So, therefore, just because you vote for a party to be in power, that doesn't mean to say that's the end of it. That's the end of where you play a role. No, the role continues over and over. We are seeing right here in the United Kingdom, there's a chance that the prime minister will have to step down because people are really saying, "Come on, get the message, man." The voters are saying, "Get the message." In the recent elections, by elections as well. Andy Burnham, who's the King of the North, is stepping forward and said, "Everybody say he's a heir apparent," and therefore, political officers need to really hear the sound of the people. And that is very important. So whether we're discussing immigration policy, public spending, ministerial conduct, national security, economic development, the same question applies. And this is a key one. Who speaks for the people and who hold the powers accountable? Because one of the things that I get, and I'll ask my guests later, do you think that Jamaicans believe that somehow someone is speaking up for them? I sometimes say, when you're hearing so many things like, what is it that Horace Chang said? What is it that they said? Is it AI or whatever? Is there some sort of arbitrating position or some arbitrator that can come in and say, hey, this is exactly what took place? You know, what you'll have is minions from the different political parties who will actually champion their cause, and they'll say, fourth year coming, or one done, or one whatever, you know. So tonight we're not dealing slogans, but dealing personality, but dealing principles, and what kind of Jamaica do we want to be built? What responsibility do governments have to citizens, and what responsibility do citizens have to ensure that democracy remains healthy and strong? Because ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, a nation is not judged merely by the power of its leaders, but by the strength of its institution and the diligence of its people. And I always say this all the while. Those who are in power, who have been voted in by the people of Jamaica, those persons are the chief servants. The people who voted them in, they are the boss, the ultimate boss. That is something that I always say. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be having I was going to say Professor Rosemary Francis Finder. I was going to say Professor. And, you know, Mark Renaissance. And of course, I'm going to have Olivia Shaw. And I believe Lester, my good friend, who is a strong advocate of the regime in power, supposed to join us later. But without further ado, I'm going to bring them on, but I will start the show and get the ball rolling. Thank you. Okay, good evening. Everybody's up, everybody's running. Let's go, ladies first. Rosemary, what's up? Your thing is on mute. You're on mute, Rosemary. You're on mute. Let me
mute me. You had muted me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're on now. Good.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful panel, Sylbourne. Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to bring greetings to everyone, especially on this World Refugee Day, celebrated by the United Nations on the 20th of June every year. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our fellow Jamaicans that have been there for refugees who come to our country, who have cared for them, who have given, who have shared, especially the case of the Haitians who came, all those organizations that assisted, and to make sure that it can be done. We can really take care of our brothers and sisters, and also to people all over the world that have been there for Jamaicans who come to them all throughout history and have really been a source of energy, of support, of giving people protection when they come to them. I just want to bring those greetings before we get into our discussion.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Olivia Shaw Lovell, who is in the UK. So I got company in the UK here. So it's not me alone. Olivia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Blessings, one and all.
Hi, Lillian.
Hello. How are you?
Well, I'm well. Happy to be here. And looking forward to a rich discussion.
And Sir Mark Renaissance Cameron, the original Don Gargan.
Well, it's good to be here. Jamaicans have always been advocates for against injustice and bad behavior.
Yes.
And growing up in the 70s, I was witness to the advocacy we had as Jamaicans against the regime in South Africa. And a lot of things weren't, we were exposed to a lot of things that were going on around the country. And Jamaica was a good example to the world as in the context of our advocacy and, working for the rights of people. And it was evident by our music. Bob Marley was so eloquent in his, in how he got the message across. He was so, he was very efficient.
Yes.
Getting his message across through music. So that's who we are as a people. We fight injustice, and it's a sad situation where it's very difficult for our voices to be heard because the system has changed. It's more controlled. Jamaicans feel like there's nobody speaking on our behalf anymore.
Yeah. It's very interesting, and I go straight into the whole bit because that's why I coined the whole thing, who speak for Jamaicans, and I go straight into the whole crux of the whole thing. And I don't know if I know sometimes we're out of the country, like Olivia. I don't know if you know what is happening, but I'll set the tone in a certain extent, whereby it has come to light based on a leak from the Gleaner that a deal apparently has been made, or to be made, or is signed up or whatever like that between Jamaica and the United States for the to Jamaica to be used as a transshipment point for non-Jamaicans who are deported from the USA. It is said 25 every 2 weeks will be going to Jamaica, and up to 10,000. And whether or not it's 10,000 or not, but if it is 10,000, we're talking about 15.4 years. Many people have raised the issue, and many people are talking about it as I say, how can this be, in a sense, in a democratic country whereby not even the opposition knew about this, not even the people know about this, and it seems like there has been some sort of backtracking, or some are saying AI. You don't know if Dr. Horace Chang is saying the same thing. There's this element of who is telling the truth. What is the truth really? And I'm going to set the stage here, like by saying, in the UK recently, and I'll show you one of the best principles, that one of the best ways to do these things. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, stood out at number 10 Downing Street, in the press room, and declared that there's going to be a ban on social media for 16-year-olds. And which is good. Lots of people champion it. I spoke to some 16-year-old and they said, yes, I think this is a good thing. But the Speaker of the House reprimanded the Prime Minister by saying, how dare you make such a policy statement or so in number 10 and not in the House. It should have been done in the House of Parliament, in Westminster. And so in cases of that, you're seeing something like what is happening now with Jamaica, like a policy sort of thing whereby it is going through the back door, going through some leak. And really and truly, I think a lot of people are actually saying they don't like how it is looking. And I just want to throw that one out there because some are trying to say a lie. And I say you go because, not like that not happened. They're not going to be criminals or so, but we know otherwise. Rosemary, what's your take on this?
Sylbourne, it is not only interesting, but it is all confusing, and it is by the minute the information changes, which is coming. Everybody's speaking about the same thing, but they're saying different things about it. One time it was deportees, next time it's people in transit. We don't know where they're in transit to. We're having different names, and they're skilled workers, and then so it seems to me like there's a deliberate attempt to create basically an information quagmire where Jamaicans are confused. And so the spinners can go and spin, and there's no clear information. But I'd like to take it back to what I think the real issue is: lack of transparency. So transparency in government means that their actions, their decisions, anything about money, all information, it's open. It's easy for citizens to see it, understand it, get it. Imagine it like a glass wall instead of like a closed door, right? So what we're seeing now, the information needs to be open. There needs to be clear decision making. People need to understand it. And so we don't have transparency in our government. So at all levels, it goes back even with decisions like these, which somebody decided on it, and one person is saying something. The people who should have made the plan or this decision with our country, they're saying one thing, right? And then we're saying another thing. And it seems to me like a big deal. I don't know if they want to obviously seem as being incompetent, just to make, but everything is being thrown into it. And that's not how we should be governed. And so I think it's a deliberate attempt to make the Jamaican people be confused. Today, somebody spun it by saying that the government had to do this because people's visas, the visas of the normal people, would be taken away. When was it that we're convinced that everything or anything is being done in the interest of the normal Jamaican? You understand? And people are confused about it. One guy was saying they would have taken my visa.
Wow.
They really believe it. So you have to look at the comments. And I've taken so many hours to really go through to see how people are processing this. Of course, most people are saying stop. Even mulling up, even muddying the whole thing and bringing in about we need these are skilled people.
Workers. Yeah.
So we don't understand. We have so many. I can give you a list of Jamaican young people who have been waiting around after they've graduated for jobs. I mean, why not upskill those who need to be, because we have the potential. Everybody is serious, know the value that we have of our workers and etc. They steal them, they take them, right? Why don't we try to give those people jobs? And why? And I just feel in a way that it is how we perceive our own Jamaican people, or how us as Jamaicans allow others to perceive us. So when you say who's talking for us, it's time for the Jamaican people themselves to find their voices. I was thinking when I saw this thing, I was like, oh my God, tomorrow the streets are going to be full. No, where's everybody? Where's the outcry? What's keeping them back?
Yeah.
And those are some real things we have to ask ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark, what's your take on this? What's your take on it?
With regards to the unfortunate souls who are languishing in American prisons, waiting for summer to go, they're pawns in a bigger game. I think we in Jamaica, well, first of all, when they hide things, the Jamaican politician is only too quick to talk about the great things that they are planning on doing. Anytime there's a great idea that they have somewhere in their back of their mind, or maybe a possibility, they're only too quick to talk about it, right? Say this might be happening. But when it comes to anything that is potentially harmful or not politically advantageous to them, they're not going to talk about it. They go behind our backs. And, as before I came on to the show today, I thought about representation, what representation means. When somebody represents you. They are representatives because they're representing, doing things on your behalf.
Exactly.
On your behalf, not from somebody else, right? But you chose them to act in your best interest. Years ago, one would think that, okay, I have a regular 9-to-5 job. You decide you want to represent us. Okay, we'll give you the opportunity to represent us. We should not be watching every deal done in government because that's your job. That person should have our interests at heart. When they're not transparent, one of the most important elements of a democracy is transparency. You must know what the government is doing in your behalf.
Exactly.
And what I'm seeing is that they're generating spin as they go along. All the different narratives that they're carrying are based on what they may have said previously that doesn't make sense. So they go back into correction mode. Okay, no, maybe we should say, skilled workers. Maybe that's what it is, because we need skilled workers. But then again, Rosie said a while ago that we are actually experiencing a brain drain today in Jamaica. Back in the 70s, because of the lies they told about the whole communist thing in Jamaica, that a lot of people left Jamaica, right? Now, what is their excuse? The excuse today for the brain drain is that Jamaicans have no opportunity in their own country because there's this meritocracy is not a prerequisite to holding a government office. It's political alliance and time on the books in a political party, which does not allow the very best of our people to lead. Which is why I always use the example of excellence, attaining excellence in our country in the track and field era of track and field, right?
Yes.
Usain Bolt and oblique Seville, they cannot be on the team unless they are qualified. Now, imagine this. The most important aspect of our lives lays in government. And you're going to tell me that we have not understanding the shortcomings of our so-called democracy in the past, vote buying and all the different things that go on, which are illegal, by the way, in the Constitution, that we have not addressed a very serious part of our democracy in that manner, which is the most important part of our lives. People are making decisions on our behalf that are not qualified to do so, who do not have the best interest in our country at hand. And one wonders, what is it that the US government has on these Jamaican our leaders? Where is it a Epstein situation? Not necessarily in the same context, but do they have something on wholeness and the other people that are in government, or threats of taking away their riches or doing whatever they want to just to get their to get us to conform? I'm not sure, but what needs to be done is that there has to be a comprehensive change in our constitution and how we elect the people that are going to run our country. If not, we'll be having this discussion time and time again, which is one of the reasons why we have so many advocacy groups, because we're hurting. We're literally hurting from the decisions that government make in our names. It's a tragedy. And it doesn't have to, because we have very bright people here, bright and beyond capable. I mean, speak here and listen to what Rosie was talking about a while ago. Rosie could be one of our leaders. I mean, she has it. She's obviously, a patriot, very intelligent. She knows what she's talking about. We don't have the same opportunity to present our case to the Jamaican people because we're not having access to the political process, because it's either PMP or JLP. And lastly, if we look on the last election, when they had the debates, we should never have a debate in our country unless we have all participants at the table. How about the other political parties that had their own ideas on the kind of Jamaica that we want.
They want to see, yeah.
They didn't have that opportunity. Okay. And we should, as advocates, demand that no debate takes place unless everybody has a seat at the table.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. And I'm going to ask Olivia to come in, and then I'm going to bring in Lester. Going to ask Lester to come in as well. Olivia, what's your take?
I kind of want to piggyback on what was shared by both Rosemary and Mark in a sense.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
But as a youth, I was born in the 90s, and I was born in a time where if sugar gone up, we block a road. And I'm going to give you a very a recent scenario of what happened in my community, Mount Salem, after the hurricane. Suppose Hurricane Melissa, debris, garbage, all of these things, and all the Chinese businesses dispose of their meat that were spoiled at the garbage. Close communities that don't want to be associated with Mount Salem brought in their garbage, right, and throw it at there's a big dump. And because I'm on the ground doing some work, persons, when they would see me, they were like, oh, can you tell somebody to come and deal with the garbage for us? And I did report it to the emergency team at the parish council that had all the relevant personnel there. A day later, nothing was addressed. And the guys who did address me, they brought the garbage to the main roads, they brought it to the road, and they blocked every possible intersection to enter the community. And when persons were driving and think that, okay, we can just move the garbage and get on with our way, the guys went out with their machetes and their guns. And they're saying no, and they lit the garbage. So you have fire. So now you need intervention. Police came, tried to handle the situation. And shortly after, you had waste management trucks, the trucks for hours removing the garbage. I grew up in a time like that. I grew up in a time where everything that bothered us as a people, we were on the street protesting. We were making a call and we got a response. Now I'm educated and I've gone through the process, so I've done the right thing. You report it to the relevant authorities, but they did not respond until it got to a place where they deemed it dangerous. Okay, guys have guns, it's a problem. There's fire, that's when they attach. So we're very reactive. Our government is very reactive. I can't tell you what has caused us to lose all sense of authority as Jamaicans and that passion that we have to call out injustice and to stand up for the rights of ourselves as citizens. There's no, I don't know. I think my generation, especially, we have gone through the system of being educated. Nobody wants to say anything. Nobody wants to do anything. Especially when you have gotten to a place where you have gotten jobs or opportunities. You really can't speak out against your party. And as Mark rightfully said, that allegiance to the party, because I've been told you need to make a decision, especially if you want to get somewhere, Olivia, you need to decide. You can't be on the fence. You need to choose. That's the conversation. So that the opportunities can come your way. So it's not fair. It's not a fair game that is being played in Jamaica. But this particular situation is very touching because, a matter of fact, a lot of Jamaicans are being deported from the United States, right? And if you speak to immigration officials, on a regular, without the Trump administration and their immigration laws, we have always had a challenge with getting the reintegration of deportees back into the country. The cost of living is killing Jamaicans. Again, we're not talking about these things. $100 for one bag juice. Let me just put it out there. I've just said the cost of living is killing Jamaicans. Working class Jamaicans cannot afford the things that they need. Nobody's talking about it. We're taking it. We're sucking the salt because our prime minister, who's a visionary, said that we need to hold it. We're going to get through it. And that's what he's doing for the best of the people. But if you are not able to provide for your citizens, how are you going to be able to take care of others? It is not a fair gesture to the Jamaican people. Yes, they're confusing with their conversation because they're just reacting and they're not telling the truth, and we know that. And obviously, you're going to have loyal JLP supporters who are going to support the claim and make defense and say, you don't know everything, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the case may be, it is not fair because far too many Jamaicans are still suffering from the impact of Hurricane Melissa. I don't even want to talk about that because I will break down. I was on the ground. I experienced it. I worked with people. I've supported people. And I'm telling you, there people in Jamaica are suffering. And we have time to talk about helping others. And we're not helping ourselves. It's just...
Thanks for that, Olivia. Thank you. Lester, good evening. How are you? And welcome to the platform which you're used to. What's up, man?
Good evening to the ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Lester, one of the things that they talk about here is the plight of Jamaica now and who speak up for Jamaica. One side of the coin will say, well, the government speak up for Jamaica, the prime minister speak for Jamaica and Jamaicans and so like that. And what's your take on that before we get into something else about this particular?
Well, Sylbourne, I've listened to. Thank you for having me on. I've listened to all your panelists, and it depending on what angle you're looking from, depending on what lens you're looking through, right? There's not been a time in our history that regular people have access to Jamaicans, to the Jamaican representative, right? There's not been a time when we can have such vibrant advocacy and vibrant outcry. One of the things is that when something goes wrong, right? The times have changed where most of the protest is happening now on social media, right? And it is a different time, and we have to understand that. How we were raised is different. We never had the ambit of social media. The only thing that we had was the Gleaner, or the Star, or the radio station, the talk shows.
Yeah,
it's a different time now, and the people are utilizing different forums now. Now, there's different ways to advocate and talk up for the people. People are talking up for themselves now. At one point, we didn't know what agency to go to. We didn't know who to call, right? I can access almost every single MP and every minister right now. You understand me? And also from persons from the opposition. So me and Damien are good friends, right? So it is not that nobody is not speaking up. It is that it is done in a different format. But when you are on the ground, or when you're online, it's two different realities. You understand me? I think it's Anne-Marie. Was it Anne-Marie?
Rosemary, maybe.
Rosemary. Rosemary said that she thought that the streets would have been filled. You understand me? Jamaica has changed a long time from that. You understand me? A long time from that, right? And I don't want the streets to be filled, because our people take things to the extreme, we can't do things in a moderation, So I'd want us to be a little bit more civil in what we want to see regarding when things come up in our society. We have this 30-second, this soundbite. We have this soundbite reaction that we hear something and then we react to it angrily, and then we are saying, oh, them will tell lie, them will hide, and then the information come out, the full information come out later on, or the correct information, it gone bad by the time, because right now you're not really more interested again, or you say you don't know what to believe. So it is on both sides. The government need to advocate for themselves and the information. They need to have proper information personnel to disseminate the information in a very holistic way, in a believable way, and in a fair way. Apart from our side to Sylbourne, we as a people need to be patient and absorb the correct information and not from just YouTube channels where we hear people are regurgitate things.
Let's start.
All right.
Okay. A lot of things to follow up on there.
I know people getting excited want to go into this, but I want to ask this particular question. In regards to the recent announcement, whether it is by through a leak from the newspaper or whatever, where do you see it as? I'm going to ask Mark what you think it is. Rosemary, what do you think it is? Do you believe it's a factual thing, or you believe it's some AI thing, or not Nagosa, regarding the proposed MOU and the plan for deporting people into Jamaica, third non-nationals Jamaica? Mark, do you think it is true?
Well, there's a pattern of behavior that exists in our government. And if we look on the pattern, you will see a level of deceit. And it's not just a PMP thing, it's how the government works in our country, because even with the road, the North Coast Highway road that was given to the Chinese, there are a lot of things that we do not know about the use of the property outside of what they got. Right now, they're building some homes on a watershed, the Roaring River watershed.
Okay.
I mean, were those things? Were we given an option to protest that potential sale and the land use that they gave us? Now, what Lester said a while ago was much to do about nothing. I don't understand a word him say a while ago. Him say a lot, but him really never say nothing. Him say government must be advocate. What are they for? They're there to advocate on behalf of the Jamaican people and
to represent us.
Right, and like I said before, transparency is one of the greatest elements of democracy. If you're representing us, just imagine you give a man your house to sell, right? And he has the ability to sell your house for a lot more than what you agree on. And he come back and tell you that he only got 5 million when in fact he sold for 20 million and he's representing you. You have trust is very important. If you don't trust, then democracy is weakened by that. And right now we're in a state of mistrust because you don't know what to believe. Nobody should be depending on leaks. Leaks is something that it didn't have to leak, and they will be stuck with things that we didn't know about. At this point, I think the biggest issue for me is that this is something that we know about. Now, if the pattern of behavior is the same, what else don't we know what is going on in our name? We don't know. We might only hear after them dead and gone, after them getting them pension, live to a ripe old age and gone. And then you're like, by the way, they can bring in non-nationals into the area where we sold the Chinese. They could bring 10,000 people in. We don't know the details, and the system that allows for the education of our people is being hampered by the deceit and the culture of that exists in the political realm today. It's not a GLP or PMP thing. It's just the way it is.
Yes, and Mark, right at that point, if I may, I'd like to come in. Because I like the fact that you keep going back to this democracy. Jamaica, has a democracy that we can be somewhat proud of. However, it's really going to the dogs right now. You know why? Because in any functioning or to make a democracy successful, I mean, even Socrates was killed because of his statements about this. How are you gonna expect people to make decision about something and make an intelligent decision about it, or for example to vote for what to vote for, if they are not informed or educated about that particular thing? It's like calling a team of doctors to make a decision about your health. They can make that decision, and people who are even not doctors, if they're informed. And that's what I feel is in our system, where we deliberately Not only are we deliberately making sure that we are denying that education, we could go back to many things. Look about the decision or the discussion about to be a republic or not to be a republic. When we wanted to make sure that there was discussion about this, we had to force it. The Advocates Network had to force it. The Advocates Network had to join with another organization to have young people debate about this. And then you see everybody coming around. And the list goes on and on. So I think it is this deliberate, because when you do that, then the powers that be, whether it's JLP or PNP, then they can have the majority of the people at a certain point. You ask a question about this, Sylbourne, whether or not we think that this is true, this thing about deportees or people in transit, or they're not even refugees. We don't know. Are the deplorables, according to Marco Rubio, are coming to us and we're going to get 25 every 2 weeks? Or is it 25 every week? Or is it how much per month? Or is it a total of 10,000? Whatever. Is this true? Well, we are in this quagmire right now because everybody, like I said at the beginning, from our government, several, the lady of the Ministry of Information, Mr. Chang, even the Prime Minister, all those people are making comments and we're lost. Everybody is imagining all kinds of things. And because of the lack of transparency and the lack of integrity, let's go there.
Yeah.
We don't know what to think, and many of us are thinking the worst. So the leaders, our powers that be, have brought us to this, where Jamaicans are so now distracted with this, right? There's so many other things going on, and a lot of people are wondering, is it a distraction? I mean, why is this happening now? Why is it coming in bits and pieces? I feel that there was an agreement. I'm looking at the United States government embassy and the release that they apparently sent out, because that's all we have, right? And we're waiting for more. Something like this, you would have thought that there would have been a big press conference or something, or even this sent to the people. If Jamaicans understood, we know that the big mighty power up there called America is, putting its tentacles all over the world, pressuring other countries to take people and all of that that's going on there. There's a level of understanding about that, but take something like this to the people. Make people feel like they had a say in the discussion. And you know what? If that goes out like that, then this country will realize that our country can't just make a decision like that, because our people, we're going to be basically, the government is basically going to be really at a great loss, because they always go to the people. That's how we do things, right? But that's not what we've demonstrated. Is go back to the same thing like with the Cuban doctors. I kept thinking, if our people were there, and Nestor, I think it was, and going on the streets and saying, our people are going to die, we're denying them doctors. Not every Jamaican can get in a helicopter and go to Florida for care. Yes. Not every Jamaican has the health coverage like the politicians have. Everything's extremely expensive. There are people who are dying because they do not have health care. And so that's what I'm saying, is that, there's got to be that point when you say, why this lack of transparency? Why not have our people become the greatest advocates verbally? Yes, times of change. We have all kinds of measures of advocating. And those who know me, I really feel that if our government understands that advocacy, what does advocacy mean? Advocacy means that you are lobbying, you're giving ideas to make things better, improve things. It's not a government you're saying that they're bad or they're horrible, or your comrade. You're just saying it's the Jamaican people. And we need to have leaders who really have the Jamaican people and their lives and what happens to them at the heart of their decision to become politicians.
Can I just ask Lester a question? Lester, let me just ask you a question. Do you believe that what was leaked is true? Or do you believe, and secondly, if it is true, do you believe that was the right way or it was done?
I believe aspects of it is true. The whole 10,000 part of it is not true, you know. And it is for me personally, I don't like the whole thing. You understand me? I don't think that we should like getting into that. You understand me? However, we all understand here geopolitics, right? But the Gleaner, the following day, right, when there was a pushback about the figure, right, keep ignoring that question that persons were asking them about to quantify the figure, right? I have not seen any release from anybody else who's talking about this 10,000 figure, any credible source who's talking about this 10,000 figure. Dr. Chang said that there's no 10,000, right? Because when you look at the 10,000, it will take over 15 years or more.
15.4
right?
years when I calculated, yes.
And Dr. Chang also said, and I don't understand why Rosemary and Mark are not putting this in the information that they're giving out. The government of Jamaica can discontinue the program at any time. This is the thing that is.
Where is that?
Could you allow me, Rosemary?
Yes,
could you allow me? Thank you. So the government can discontinue the program at any time. Dr. Chang said that in his post-cabinet briefing. He said that in Parliament also, right? No, Sylbourne, again, let me say this. I don't like it. I don't think that we should be going down this road, right? However, many times, things get leaked from the ministries because of persons for whatever reasons. You understand me? We are speaking as if we know how far along in the negotiations the government was with the United States of America. We don't know, right? So when people are saying that we should be transparent, if anybody here who does deals with businesses, right, I know that you can't just reveal things just like that. You have to reveal things at a particular time when the deal is at a particular stage. Right now, the Gleaner company and somebody forced the hand of the government, so they are coming out with this now. Right? I am saying that we don't know all the information. You are saying that the government will tell you all the information up front. That's not how government to government works. Right? Hold on, Sylbourne. I need to clear up something. The government of Jamaica, Rosemary, did not end the Cuban doctors program. Please do not repeat that. From 2023, we have been this negotiation, and we're telling them that our labor laws is not consistent with what you are doing. They're getting 15% of the money, and we said, hey, let's just have another adjustment, right? It was the same thing that other areas in the region was having with the Cuban people and the Cuban government. The Cuban government steadfast and said, okay, we're holding steadfast that this is the agreement we want in place, we're not changing it. And they are the one who pulled back their doctors. The Jamaican government offered to the Cuban doctors, you can stay here independently and we'll pay you all your salary. So let us put the facts on the table, please. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that regarding the Cuban bit. Sorry, Olivia, Mark. I think Mark, you wanted to come in. I want to come in there, but I want to give Olivia to say something, if anything she wants.
No, well, I want Lisa to know, which is one of the reasons why I've been an advocate for a constitutional overhaul.
Yes.
It is important that every step of the way that you walk hand in hand with the people. That is how it works, bro. That's the kind of democracy that me want. That's the kind of democracy that all Jamaicans want. We want our government, and I've said this before. You know, we understand because of the geopolitics thing that goes on in the world today and the bullyism that goes on around. If the Jamaican people, at every step of the way, if the government comes to us and say, hey, if we don't do this, they're going to put sanctions on us. They're going to do this to us. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? In that way, what you're doing is that you are putting you see the Jamaican government is too concerned about shaming the people who are putting us in this dilemma. What they need to do is come to us and let it all hang out. Let them know that if we don't do this, this is going to happen to it. And sometimes the person who's trying to force this on us will understand, well, this don't look very good, so maybe we shouldn't go that route. But the Jamaican government has always been an apologist for these people.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
Sorry, I know that Sylbourne wants to go on to someone else, and I'm sorry to be taking up some of your speaking time.
I'm sorry.
But because you're bringing up that point, I would like to say, because when you say that they come to us and ask us, yes, but can you imagine if the Jamaican government knew that there are certain things, or that the people would react in a certain way? Other governments would also know that, and know that of us, of our people, to understand also how they deal with us, because our government has to then make sure that certain things, they don't want a revolution. Let me tell you, when I mentioned the thing about the Cuban doctors, I didn't say that the government just sent them home or whatever. I said when they went, or when they had to leave, or when they had to let them go, if we were a nation where we were very open to advocacy, what I was expecting is people going on the streets to say, this is going to create a big problem for so many poor people in Jamaica. What are we going to do? Government, how are you going to fix this gap? What are we going to do? That's what I meant when I said making sure that they're going out to take a stand when these things happen. I believe for sure, because I was also following the politics, I follow it every day, that our government their hands were pushed, they were forced, and they were squeezed. However the discussions was going on, and the wage negotiation. Why now? Why, after Mr. Rubio wants all the things he wants to destroy Cuba, please?
Okay, thanks for that. Olivia want to say something, and then I want to say something after.
I think a lot of times the reality is that our government take us for a fool.
Yeah,
they think that we are done.
That's true. That's true.
And we have we really we don't have the capacity like they do, even though a lot of them are not qualified for the role, but we don't have the capacity to understand these negotiation techniques. And so these big words are used, and you have to understand this is business deal, and you don't share it publicly then and wherever. We're no fools. And they need to understand that, and it's not a challenge only in like the government sector. This goes broad, because I have a challenge in the academic sector too, in how we engage people. We plan and then we engage. We don't engage people to understand what their needs are to then plan and execute, right? Because you can't talk to everybody. The question is, oh, you're going to have too many voices at the table. So they have this God sense of being elected, and we are right, and we know what is right for the people at every point. But I really wanted to say, this is really a strong personal belief of mine, and I understand what Mark wants. It's a very idealist notion, but democracy is such a facade. It's an illusion.
To a great extent.
It is an illusion. I'm just in my 30s, so probably I don't have the legitimate claim to say, because in the past we would have seen how the voices of the people made changes. We are freed from slavery because there was no civility, there was no discussion, there was riots, there was protests, there was war. And we want to behave now. It's the same civility that was used for colonialism. Let's go and let people become civilized. It doesn't work. And we have to be honest. You can write all you want. You can have your connections. You having a connection doesn't change the impact of the majority of the people. It changes your space. It changes your people. But it doesn't change the overall impact of the lives of Jamaicans. So, yes, we can go on social media. We can talk all we want. But the reality is that we are not informed, because they don't think that we can appreciate the information and we can make these decisions. They don't believe in us. They don't think that we are equipped, and they really believe that they are the right. They know it all. And so even in sharing what they are doing, That is why they speak to us in such a manner like, oh, we can't share everything, we can't disclose it yet. We have not finalized.
Yeah.
That's not the point. We don't care if you finalize it or you're not finalize it. We want to know why this is a point of discussion, because Jamaicans don't want it.
Exactly.
Thanks for that, Olivia. And I want to come in here because I listened to what Mark said, and I listened to what Lester said, and I'm of the view that the government really should keep the people close. The MPs also should be keeping their constituents close at the same time. But I don't think that happens in Jamaica, where the MPs keep their constituent close, where constituents can write to their MPs and say, listen, my position in this XYZ, but I believe persons toe the political line, and I believe that is in both parties or so, if anything. But in this particular case, the question that I asked Lester was, do you believe it was the right way, how it was done? Or it was leaked. Therefore, something of such a great magnitude was being, let's put it this way. Okay, let's put it this way. Nothing is wrong with trying to organize or try to work out some deal. But don't actually close the deal. And this is the question, was the deal closed? Well, it sounds like the deal is closed to a certain extent. It sounds like the 10,000 issue is a big question. But for the 10,000 thing, I think it's really semantics, because if it run over 15 years, it will be 10,000. You know what I'm trying to say? Or if it run over 30 years, it will be 20,000 or so. So the 10,000 is a bit semantic. So grabbing onto the 10,000 and in a way, is a lie. I think let's not deal with that. The issue is 25 persons every 2 weeks. Then you work it down and say, hang on a second, some of these persons may not be able to even go back to them yard because of certain issues. Where will they go? Kick them back to the States? Now let me play this video. Here. And I just play this bit here. And I think we all know this video. And
other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country.
Now, Lester, I'm not taking it that you are an advocate or you are speaking for the government of Jamaica, and I will not want to give the impression that you're a mouthpiece for the government right now or so. I'm talking about what this actually say. You listen to how they were talking, they were laughing, these despicable people, these pedophiles or whatever like that, and they are looking for places where they can go to. Negotiations. So putting 2 and 2 together, one would say Jamaica fit within that whole scale of things, isn't it, Lester?
First of all, Sylbourne, when was that video made? When was this press conference?
That maybe it could have been last year. It could have been 2 years ago. It could have been.
Okay, cool. No, hold on. Because I remember the El Salvador thing was maybe 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, based on what, and all I'm going from is what the Minister of Security said. You understand me? Because I'm
not trust a guy, and no disrespecting him, so like him junk.
but Sylbourne, hold on, Sylbourne. I keep hearing this trust argument. No, I want Rosie. Trust argument.
Yes. Oh, trust.
I want Rosie and yourself, and even Mark, to tell us when in our history, right, have we trusted the government of Jamaica? When in our history have the government come forward, right, with something that they were going to do and tell us beforehand, right? You know what I don't understand? We stood up to the United States already once in our history, right? Twice in our history. It didn't feel good for Jamaica. You understand me? So there's a template that we know that will happen, right? It happened in the 70s. It happened in 2010, right? We, as a fragile economy, can't afford that to happen again, right? We can barely have over 1% growth, barely, right? I am saying that when I hear this type of rhetoric from Rosemary and from Mark, It is as if this distrust just start in the last 10 years. You understand me? We have never trusted our government in the information that they're giving us. Never. Right? No, hold on. I don't know which whole heap of protests Olivia talked about in the 90s and stuff like that. You understand me? I don't know if down at St. James that was a thing. In Kingston where I live, we never have all these type of protests going on a regular basis. That was not true. You understand me? We had government workers and sporadic people in a particular industry protest. We never had this mass protest. The last mass protest we have was 1999, the 28th of April. And before that, it was the gas right in 1986. Again, we don't want to go back to these things. What I am saying is that when we... Hold on. You hear Marco Rubio say something, and you believe every word what him said, right? But it becomes sound bad towards the government of Jamaica when you believe him. When Marco Rubio say other things, and Trump say other things, and Trump administration say other things, when you mistrust them and don't believe them. You understand me? People here are living in other countries apart from Jamaica. Trump never announced, say, them are going to fund, Biden never announced that them are going to fund Ukraine, right? Trump never announced that them are going to invade Venezuela, right? When they went into Panama for Noriega, they never announced that. When they went into Nicaragua, they never announced that before. I don't understand. When they were into Saddam Hussein, they never announced it. I'm saying no government operate like how Mark is have an idealistic view of how government operate. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. One second, Mark, and Lester, we're juxtaposing here, and we're actually making some serious comparisons in some national security issues.
Government doesn't work like that.
Lester. What we're talking about here is simple, like we're talking about bringing people into a country. We're talking about bringing people to live in your country. We're talking about deportees from another country. We're talking about persons that we don't know. Mark you, Lester, they could be great people who are just having issues with immigration, but we don't know if they are despicables. We don't know if they are criminals. We don't know if they are pedophiles. We don't know if they have sicknesses or whatever. Don't you think the people of Jamaica need to know that?
Right.
Yes, Sylbourne. And I said earlier, Sylbourne, that we don't know where that you were.
No. You're answering the question. Just answer it. Don't you think the people need to know that? You said yes.
Sylbourne, and I said yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I should
no, me no want about him. Me no want about the yes. Just leave that one there. Just leave it land. Wait. I just wanted the yes right there. Yes, the people need to know. This is not, I believe, like getting Saddam Hussein, the element of surprise with Iran and all those different places. That's a different kettle of fish.
Not relevant at all.
It's not relevant. Mark, go for it, Mark. Lester, just hold on, Lester.
In a nutshell,
Mark,
in a nutshell, what Lester has his performance a while ago. What he's saying is that the bad behavior of the past absolves of our responsibility to the present.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, you're telling me now because this wasn't done in the past. We didn't tell people everything that they knew that they're supposed to that we're doing. No, let me say this to you, right? You see, you mentioned I'm an idealist. No, I'm big on words and mean no words. Okay. Ideal means it's the best possible outcome for any solution. Ideal.
In reality.
If one is being pragmatic, or if one is being making a concession, it's not the best. I shoot for the stars, brethren, and if I get to the moon, I'm good. Okay, that's in my world. I try to structure things in my life and look in government to look on all of the. I don't look on what the deficiencies of other people, however mighty they may be, because they are not Jamaica. We have to look on our in this dispensation. How we as a people can move forward, not making excuses by the bad behaviors of others. Because we have the examples of what hasn't worked in our so-called democracy. We know that vote buying don't work. We know that an election is about access to information. In other words, what are you advertising? What are you promoting for our country? Not the amount of cargo dinners you can provide, how much alcohol you can provide for your constituency during elections. It's about your message. Every election should be centered around message, not about resources. And if the powers that be have all the resources and no other voice is allowed in, then we're going to continue this dysfunction forever. Which is why our focus right now, on a serious note, all the things we're talking about right now would go away if we have a proper constitution with accountability. They can say what they want to do and not be concerned about the consequences. I'll give you a brief story, which I've told many times, but it comes into question right now. Many years ago, there was a severe dust problem on the Mud Lake in Mandeville. I called everybody. I went through the normal protocols. I went to the parish council. I called NEPA. I said, hey, all the dust, the caustic soda wasn't affecting me because I can see it affecting my gully, right? I called everybody. Nobody showed up. I called Mutty Perkins. And I called for the firing of the head of NEPA. Guess what? After 20 or 30 calls to NEPA without a response, all of a sudden, man, come me yard. I don't know him where we live. He said, boy, I'm secure, man. You say, well, I get me fired, sir. I said, yeah, you should have been fired because you're not doing the job. I said, what are you doing about the dust situation here in Mandeville? He came, he spoke, nothing happened. Do you know how they get to put sprinklers on the Mud Lake in Mandeville? It was picked up by Al Jazeera. They came to my home. They interviewed me, and if you want, you can look for yourself, look for bauxite problems Jamaica, and you'll see me talking about it. They came to my home, and I talked about it. I did my research. I spoke to a few of the engineers around who worked at bauxite company, who were retired and live in my neighborhood, and they gave me the full rundown. And based on that, that is the reason why they had me go before Parliament. They were embarrassed into compliance. Now, how many people, semi-retired at the time that I came into Jamaica, have the ability to take on these things? People at work, they might work 9 to 5. They're struggling, as Rosie said. They're struggling to survive. They don't have time to be advocates. And the more knowledge you have, the more time you have on your hands. And like last time, I have time. I'm very, very busy. But in my busy day, I get to think. I get to think about what's going on. And you know, knowledge can be a burden if you cannot do anything with the information that you have. Yes. And that is what we are struggling. People look at us like, man, why are you barking at the moon like a dog barking at the moon? Yeah, I'm barking at the moon because I realize the moon is turning into the goddamn sun, and we are going to be burnt alive. So exactly. I'm saying
that problem was a bigger central government problem.
It's a central government problem because guess what?
Central government problem.
You know, the central government is not they're not cohesive. They're not working with Jamaican people. They're not doing that. And the parish councillors who were under the legislative council, who were just they got a stipend because they met once a month to discuss issues going on in the community, and they'd vote on it. So they got a stipend. Now the government gave them a raise of $5 million, which is what the PMP salary was before, to be advocates for political parties cheerleaders for political parties rather than be advocates for the people. I don't talk to my parish councillor. When I'm driving on the road that I'm passing the same pothole that is dangerous to my car, when Waze, what do you call it? The app.
Yeah.
When the app tell you say there's a pothole ahead, you should be ashamed of yourself as a parish councillor to know that the app know where the pothole is that is dangerous to people. I mash up my car when I went down to the when the Advocates Network did the protest for the 300% raise. The irony of this thing is that when I went down there, I build the coffin, I'm gonna go down there and I do my thing. Very few people showed up.
What 300% people showed up?
And on top of that, on my way home, sir, I drive a Tundra, which can't take any pothole. It cost me $170,000 when I drop into a pothole right outside of the Hero Circle. All right, advocating for for change in our government where I feel like we're getting our money's worth. If we were getting our money's worth of the amount of millions we're being paying these people, I wouldn't feel so bad. Because right now we're paying $2 billion a year for parish council and MPs, when in fact, Jamaica is such a small country that you could have Cornwall, Middlesex and Surrey and one man, one Cornwall, Middlesex and Surrey, an argument done. You can drive with all of Jamaica in one day. Okay? What is there going on in Parliament where we need to have people to go in there every week to discuss what? It seems like they're doing things incrementally, so we always need them. They have to justify their existence by not fixing, come with a solution today that is sustainable, because they won't be getting paid tomorrow. They would have to justify their means of support. The Jamaican parish council is a part-time job, my youth. We don't need no full-time parish councillor. If you fix a road, if you fix a road, if you fix all the road in one time and do it properly, you don't need another man tomorrow. But we have people that are fixing roads that are in brethren who don't know nothing about no road, and they eat up food because they get to fix the road again next 6 months. And the cycle continues. We waste money where we don't need to do that, based on our lack of a system of meritocracy and collective rising.
But I feel it's planned, Mark. It's deliberate to lower the standards, to make us not expect any better. You know, our cars, you know, Jamaica have pothole. I saw it go. Wally pa pothole. I demand them say them I go fix it, but it not fixed. But
Jamaica is not a real place.
It's almost like, and it's not just one government, you know, that's not what I'm saying. Because when I speak for things for the Jamaican people. Anything that's gonna improve our lives, let us thrive, be able to do business, raise our families. And one of the things that the Advocates Network does, we advocate for good governance. So when it comes to things like when we're talking about advocating for things or demonstrating and taking to the streets, we're not in any sense advocating for violence. Look at Albania. Look at Albania, where somebody, it's alleged, saw an island or saw an area and thought she could have it, or and her husband, and they wanted to buy it. And that's a nature reserve for the Albanian people, and they got wind of it.
Okay.
And it was that is people coming out protesting. What is happening now? What is the result of that? There is a pause. There's, you know, they're looking at this deal, etc., etc. So you have to advocate in order to get results. And I feel that as good governance is one of the big part of what we're advocating for. Going back to this deal with or no deal with America, we have been seeing in the geopolitical sphere over the last times that deals that are made with that country are not deals at all, by the whim or by somebody's, you know, things get changed, treaties are thrown away. I mean, look, little Jamaica have a deal. What's the deal? We don't even see it. What's the process? When
how do we force it? How do we force it? How do we enforce it? We can't force it. If tomorrow morning, excuse me, one second. If tomorrow morning, right, United States says, well, governments change, and we have a deal in place where we're taking these people who are funded by the government of America. A new government comes in. No, we're not going to do a deal anymore. What happens? How can Jamaica say, okay, well, we have these people here, pay us to take care of them? And them say, no, what we're going to do?
Yeah. Well, I'll give an example. One second, Rosemary. Mark, I'll give you an example. There was a Rwanda deal in the UK, which a Conservative was doing. And the plan was for sending failed asylum seekers, or some were even successful, to Rwanda. And the Labour Party came into power. And guess what they did? They shelved it. They shelved the deal right away. And guess what Rwanda was doing? Rwanda built this hotel, built this nice place and everything. And they were showing us what they're going to do. And guess what? Rwanda sued the UK government. And guess what? Rwanda failed. The UK was successful. There's a thing in law in the UK that says Parliament cannot bind, one Parliament cannot bind the future Parliament. So therefore, what can happen is this. this particular deal can go through, and next thing Mark Golding win. I know people are going to say 4-term loading or whatever like that, but next thing Mark Golding win for argument's sake, or the PNP win, the PNP can shut that down. They can say we're not going to honor it because
you know, Mark, that you don't done the deal also.
No. There was a context that need to be placed in a particular context. I listened to it fully, and that need to be placed in a context. Marlon Morgan was trying to pull a fast one. I saw that there. See,
look on the Iran deal. Look on the Iran deal. Look on the Iran deal that man shelved. We had a deal in place with Iran, and them just take it off. So that's a good example of one of the reasons why you have to be careful of the end game, the end result of your actions. And if we cannot, as a small country, enforce a deal, then we should have no part of that deal.
And everybody's throwing up their hands in the air, like, Mark. And this is something I noticed looking at people's comments online. And so it's like, well, what are we going to do? They would have taken away. I'm just saying, let's go back to this and look at it. Remember, we're talking about people, whether they're pedophiles or whatever they are. These are people. What is the process? How are we going to feed these people? Where are they going to live? What happens when they are no longer transition? Where are they going to go? I mean, we have no idea about any of this. Things are just floating around. I'm interested in making sure that this is not another high-level human trafficking system, because I'm from the Refugee Council of Baden-Württemberg. I represent refugees. So you have to be careful. You can't, what are we doing? Trading in people? Are we going to pay them to work? What is this? So I think there needs to be so much more clarity. There needs to be transparency, and there needs to be an answer or information to the Jamaican. What is this? Now the cat is out of the bag, right?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. There needs to be a statement to the House, a real honest statement to the House, and the opposition should have advance notice of the statement, and then and call and let the chips fall and say, this is exactly what has happened. Just save face. Right now, I believe, and sometimes they're trying to, it's like they're trying to throw that lady there underneath the bus, Audrey Marks, because at the end of the day, even if Audrey Marks was the one that brainchild it or initiate the whole thing, it makes no difference. Anybody from a government can initiate or start some deal. But at the end of the day, when it comes on to binding the government, when it comes on to the taxpayers of the government going to be involved, or actually when a government is supposed to be the defender and the protector of the people, and then you're imposing something on them, come on, man. Lester, we need to do better, man. We need to do better for the people of Jamaica.
This is a cost.
Somebody said that was done. What was done? I don't know what was done.
Sylbourne, I want to ask Rosemary, did you listen to Dr. Chang's speech in the Parliament?
Why, Dr. Chang?
I listened to the speech. I listened to when the opposition party wanted to ask questions about this. I listened to the 5-minute break that they wanted to take that turned into how many, whatever. And the chaos.
He's a bully. He's a bully, Rosemary. He's a bully. He's a bully.
That came out. I listened to all of it. Parliament.
So did Dr. Chang itemize how much people will come? When certain amount of people is here, the program will pause until they get rid of the 25. Didn't he tell where they're going to stay? What organization is going to? Hold on. I'm asking a question. Did you not hear Dr. Chang state, right? Itemize where they're going to stay, what organization is going to receive them, where the fund is going to come from. Didn't he say all of that?
I don't believe him.
No, that's not what I'm asking you. But that's not what I'm asking you. I'm saying, didn't he say that? Whether you believe it or not, it's not my issue. I'm saying, didn't he state that?
Whether or not he stated that, I'm saying to you that I don't believe him. He seemed like he was just getting his facts. But that's not the question. They were winging it.
That's not the question.
No, she heard that, but she said she don't believe.
No, but I'm saying to you, do you have counter information to discredit him?
Precedents.
No, exactly. I'm asking Rosemary. Hold on, Mark. Hold on. Relax. I'm asking, do you have counter information or evidence to discredit what he has said?
The problem is, what information do we have? And that's what we're asking about.
But he gave you information. You don't believe the information.
I think they want to see the memorandum. They want to see that document.
No, they didn't say that. Oh, hold on. But Rosie, didn't say that. You want to see the document. Didn't say that.
I've said that before. There's nothing out
No, but
there.
you're saying that you don't know. And I'm saying that the security minister gave the information of where they're going to house, how much people is going to be here. He also said that both sides can end the agreement at any time. He said all of that. So don't say that you don't have the information.
Agreement. And
Let's see the agreement.
You don't have the information. No, but you're saying that you don't have the... But Rosemary, you're saying that you don't have the information. I'm saying you do have the information. You don't believe the information. That's a separate thing.
No, she wants to see the agreement. She wants to see the agreement.
No, and that's okay, and that's fine. I understand that. I want to see that
agreement.
Rosie, me the person, Rosie, me don't want him to none at all, you know. Yeah, me don't want the agreement. Me don't want them not to do none at all, you know. I said that earlier. I don't see the point in doing it.
All right, I want to land on this one. I want to land on it to say that it's really unfortunate, and this is really unfortunate, that nobody, well, I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people do not have any confidence in that gentleman called Mr. Chang. Because personally, me speaking, I can't say I tell lie or not, but when I listen to him, I say, well, I can't take that man as serious. That's just me. There's something about him. He just said something, keep you quiet, and then he say another bit there. He said something at the diaspora conference. The chair said, this won't happen. This is never going to happen. The next thing he's in the house saying that. And I'm saying, and from that, I just don't, the guy sound like a drunkard. No disrespect. Him not sound straight, Lester. I'm just saying that it's really unfortunate. Listen, this is what I'm trying to say. It's really unfortunate that you have a government who is supposed to be a serious government and have persons presiding over some serious ministry, and people do not have confidence in them. People say, boy, I can't listen to them. That person doesn't make sense. And the question I want to ask is this, unless I'm asking it to you, Olivia, asking Rosemary, when you have situations like this, it got leaked, PNP say this, JLP say that, Lester say that, Mark say that, Rosemary say that, Sylbourne say that. Who can we listen to? Who is that voice of authority that can say, let me pull everything together, this arbitrator, and say, okay, guys, this is it. I've seen it, evidence. Here's the memorandum of understanding, because guess what? People are now, as far as I'm concerned, are not having great confidence in the JLP, and people are not having great confidence in the PNP. So you need a middle ground. Who is that person, Mark? Who is that person, Rosemary? Who can be that authority voice, Olivia?
You will never know who that person is if there's not equal access to information in the electoral process. Like I said before, the voices of the advocates have been silenced. When you only have the JLP and the PNP having a debate about the country's future, and there are many other candidates that have put their foot in the ring, so to speak, not their voice not being heard, you're going to have the same situation going on. We are a duopoly governance. It's the JLP and PNP versus the Jamaican people. I've been advocating since I came back to Jamaica in 2020. When I saw the dysfunction in the PNP when they're trying to sell Goat Island, the deal with the Chinese with the land. We don't even know what the full details of the agreement is. What can they do with the land, the thousands of acres of land they got to build a road? You know, they're mining it now, and they're shipping out stuff in the middle of the night in the port out in Ocho Rios. What are they taking out? A friend of mine said to me, Mark, I'm a part of the project. When they buck up on something, them send the Jamaicans home. What are they finding that they're shipping out under the guise of aggregates? Yo, there's a lot of things going on in our name, and we don't have a clue. We give up our port. The Chinese and all the smaller people control our port. The Mexicans control our airport. I came to the airport the other day, and I looked on the entrance and roundabout. It looked like a memorial. The Mexicans have put their stamp on the entry into our country. It's not a Jamaican proper entrance. We had the old Air Jamaica airplane tail there before, but it doesn't. That entrance doesn't represent Jamaica, because people are doing things on our behalf with us out not knowing. They give themselves a raise, which is not sustainable. They've taken money from the airport 8 to 10 years in advance. They got money up front for the rental of that property. And then it looks as if we're prosperous because we're flushed with cash, that in 10 years, for 10 years, we won't be able to get money from that source because it's already spent on unsustainable initiatives that they put together. So the whole government structure needs to change, and this can only be done through constitutional reform. Our focus, and I'm very serious about this. I'm about solutions. We're not going to change into a country that we deserve unless we handle the structure of government, how people are elected. A train must follow a rail. A new constitution will hold government to that rail. They can't go outside of that. And there has to be transparency and consequences. If they can just say, boy, yeah, we did it, so what? What are you going to do about it? You can't not about it. Them give themselves a raise. Everybody upset. What are you going to do about it? Nothing, because when lawmakers are lawbreakers, how do you resolve that? When the mongoose are guard the hen house, how you deal with that?
It is very interesting, Mark, what you're saying, and interesting, Lester. And one of the things that I do pick up, because I'm looking at a couple of comments, one particular comment coming through on TikTok, and everything is really against any sort of thing about accountability, transparency, middle ground. They say, where's the middle ground? I tell you where the middle ground is. The middle ground in the UK, somebody say, where's the middle ground in the UK? Middle ground in the UK is that the press will hound, and the presses come from all different sides and challenge the government, right? That is something which is very strong in the UK. In Jamaica, I don't believe it is very strong.
No, we don't have that.
No,
it's not very strong in the UK. Yeah?
It is not.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then also in the UK, what we are seeing now, the two-party system is now a thing of the past. You got Reform, you got the Greens, you got Lib Dems and everything like that. Everybody's now coming up now. So therefore, it is all slightly different. In Jamaica, I believe, and when I think about Dr. Wheatley, the whole issue with being charged, let's use the word charge for illicit enrichment. Really and truly, he should really have step aside, not from the member of parliament, but step aside from the cabinet. That shouldn't be something which is being debated or think about, or should we do it or not. It should be some default position that happen right away. And then therefore he can mount his defense team with champagne and all those guys and blah, 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 and try to clear his name. But, it's like a sham.
You know what's a sham, Sylbourne? You know what's a sham? A bigger sham?
Yeah.
How long has Ruel Reid been languishing in no man's land? Is he guilty or not? Are you going to tell me that it takes 7 years to find a person guilty or not? There's something fundamentally wrong with our justice system, the judiciary. Excuse me, tongue-tied here a little bit. We're not. There's a problem, guys. You have all these people in jail, and the justice is not speedy. There's an older lady who just got murdered in a grill. I knew her very well. Sweet soul.
Yoga
she
lady.
loved Jamaica. When I used to go to Woodstock in the grill, she was there, yoga. Such a nice lady who looked on Jamaica as her home. And this older woman who you'd think she died at, I think, 79 years old, she was murdered in her own home.
Rumor has it that it might involve her mentally ill son.
Yeah, but that's a rumor, and I spoke to the police in that department because I have friends down there, and that's something they threw out there, but they're nowhere close to solving this crime.
Solving it.
Nowhere close.
Yes. I really feel, Sylbourne, that this middle ground of who we're going to listen to. There is, the press. I've noticed that the journalists in Jamaica, it's not like you say in England where there really are journalists, where some people are trying. There are some bloggers, there are some, independent journalists and so on, and there's some others who are trying. But I feel, it's Mark, there's so much going on. There's just it's just so incredible.
It's too much.
Some of the things that are allowed and being tolerated, and it seems like it's getting more and more. The unbelievability of it all that's just thrown at us to just accept, and then we hear about our prosperity, but Jamaican people aren't benefiting from it. Even our tourism dollars that are all offshore, right? But we're doing so well because we're supposed to be just service people. I feel that there's got to be some hope. We have
Can I just stop right there? Can I just stop right there? Stop right there. A comment just came in a while ago. Everyone is biased against the government.
That's not true. That's not true.
Lord have mercy.
No. But Sylbourne, that's what we're trying to clarify. When things in a state are not going, how it should go, and you want better, then you talk about it, then you try, then you ask for better. And that is a problem we have in Jamaica. The moment that one starts saying, but why do they do this? They said you're a comrade or you're against the government. No, we're asking.
Are you bad-minded? Are you bad-minded?
Respect us. Respect the Jamaican people. They hired you then to govern, to help them. Please do things in their interest. And if it's not in the interest of the Jamaican people, whose interest is it in? You understand? And so I feel that that's where we have to really start looking and saying, and the government has to start doing that more. People look, for example, some advocates send some suggestions about the NARA bill. How it could, they think it could be better, some things that they think should be changed, and so on and so forth. Our prime minister is on record saying that he thinks that some of these people who they're political people hiding behind a social society groups and making comments against the government, and that they're standing in the way of progress, blocking help. I'm one of those people who asked for certain things and supported it regarding the NARA bill. Do you know how hurtful that is? To hear that you are standing in the way when you were one of those people spending night and day to get help with a lot of other people, tons or thousands of other Jamaicans, and even some people on this platform right here and others in our network, making sure that help got to Melissa victims even before some other people in Jamaica reacted. So it's hurtful, when you hear that because you ask for better of something or you could improve something because you are Jamaican. It's what we do. Even though we live abroad, some of us, we read the newspapers every day. We follow everything. We listen to every parliamentary debate. It's on. It's in our earplugs when we're at work, whatever, because our families live there. I mean, we contribute so much to Jamaica. And when I hear the prosperity being discussed, it hurts my feelings because I know how many school lunches we have to work to pay for in Jamaica. We know how many people who are there, who are qualified, who are not working, who can't survive. Yes. So there's this, there's this thing that, you have no right to comment, but nobody's trying to be all negative against the government because we want to be negative. I mean, respect us. We need to respect each other. Just like how the Jamaican government and the opposition need to respect the Jamaican people.
Can I just ask Olivia, can I get Olivia to say something? I want Olivia to say something.
Yes, Olivia. Yeah, Olivia hasn't said anything in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really just listening and taking in the viewpoints, also following a bit of the comments. And I hear the call for the constitutional reform, which I really agree with. But my point is that this is all an illusion, and I know we should be hopeful. I'm a big advocate for hope. I go by faith, so I believe that there is a possibility for change. And what we're experiencing now, we have seen from history till now that change is possible. So if we keep your neck on the problem, like you keep your foot on them neck. And it's not a political thing. I know it's going from Nikisha to JLP. But I think that we have a right as a people to make these calls. And I don't think so much that the issue is the government. I think it's us as Jamaicans.
And as
We have been very passive, and we have allowed them to treat us this way.
Can I say something?
You get the leader that you wanted, you voted for. Yeah.
Well, here's a bigger issue, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not allowed to talk.
Who is the largest employer in Jamaica? Who's the largest employer in Jamaica?
Lester, answer that. Lester can answer.
I think Lester wanted to say something.
No, Lester can answer that at the same time. So Lester, you can answer that.
The government is the largest employer in Jamaica.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Sylbourne,
Yes.
let me answer the question you asked first and then address some other things.
Yeah.
I think that we need to have a responsible media in Jamaica, right? Overall, right? What I'm seeing too often is careless journalism. The Gleaner published a photo of a lady and saying this is Kim Brown Lawrence in gone to church or some incident, right? Now, Kim Brown Lawrence is one of the most popular councillors in Jamaica. She ever did on social media, right? And the Gleaner get her photo wrong.
It wasn't her. It wasn't her.
It wasn't her. But I'm saying, out of every other councillor, we have about, I don't think, 400 councillor, she's consistently on social media.
From Brownstown,
the Gleaner could just go on her Facebook page.
That happened here too with a local.
I'm saying, how lazy is this? How tardy is this? Who do the proofreading? You understand me? We have seen many times that Nationwide and Power 106 and other stations have to do consistent retraction and apologies, right? You know why? Because them don't investigate with journalism anymore. Them don't leave them office. They make a text, they send a phone, they make a phone call. They don't actually go out into the field and actually do journalism. They don't have sources in the ministry who are reliable, who say, you know, this is where and send the information to them, right?
Yeah.
I agitate people for the correct information. You know, have to disrespect people are liable people, you know, are defame people, but get the correct information, right? That's one thing. Next thing, I need to see in Jamaica, from the government of Jamaica, a standalone Ministry of Information. Not just one department somewhere.
Absolutely.
We have a Ministry of Information, you know. We don't have a
Absolutely.
physical place where you can go to say, this is the Ministry of Information. We don't.
Yeah,
I don't think Dana Dixon should be Education Minister and Information Minister. I don't think so. So people, like I said, I don't agree with everything that Jamaica Labour Party-led government do. There's many things I disagree with, right? Now, we need to have a better proactive information ministry and minister, right? With too reactive, right? And then what we react to, we still are sloppy and lazy part of that. So the Jamaican people need to be able to trust the government when they put out something. The diaspora, right, is getting the information from some idiot on YouTube and Marvin and all these other people, right? And many times it's incorrect information. Sometimes it have nothing to do with the truth, what's happening, right?
It's incorrect, Lester, because the government is not telling us the truth. And there's no way that we can see anything tangible that we can say, this is a fact. So Jamaicans have become reporters.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
All of us are now reporters, you know. I mean, the other day, I went to Blue Lagoon.
He's gonna let you finish it.
No, but the other day I went to Blue Lagoon, right? Because I heard about not having access to Blue Lagoon, so I went there.
Yeah.
And did a report. Me, the reporter, right? Took a picture of people bathing in the Blue Lagoon, having a great time. And I said, why are people saying there's no access to the Blue Lagoon? We do have access. And I put it out on social media that we do have access. Now, this is pro-government, not doing it for pro-government likes or whatever, just from my objective opinion.
Yes.
When I found out that Devon called me from JAMP, he went out there, the Minister of Information, well, Darrell Vast used my video and put on his social media page saying, here it is. There is access to the Blue Lagoon. Devon come and say, yo, Mark, nothing go so. We have access based on a privilege at this point, not a right. So my post was put out in a very disingenuous way because the full story wasn't told. I didn't know that a part about not having a right. It could when you have a privilege, it can change tomorrow. If it's a right, then
it's a right.
It's a right. So we have to be reporters, and we shouldn't have to be doing this. We have other things to do with our lives. Yeah. Why am I going to Blue Lagoon to figure out what is really going on? No, I agree with what Lester said. We need to have an independent arm, funded, not bipartisan, no political thing. Also, NEPA. NEPA should never be in the Prime Minister's office. If NEPA comes out against a project, the Prime Minister can overrule it. That should never happen. NEPA should make decisions on behalf of for the collective good of our country, not of a particular political person who wants an approval on a particular project when it poisons our water or destroys our infrastructure. No. So there's, like I said, it all comes back down to the Constitution and the rights and responsibilities of government to the people and the people's civic duty to the country.
I'm gonna go back to Lester, but the point that you flagged up there is about the constitution reform. That somehow has been null and void. You know what? That's like a dead thing. But anyway, Lester. So you're saying before you were
has to be prioritized. However,
has to be prioritized. Absolutely.
Lester. So you're saying.
Yes. So we need to have trust in our government, the information arm, that when they put out a release, we know that this is coming from a credible source and it's the truth. You understand me? It pains me to hear persons saying that they can't trust things that the Honorable Dr. Dana Dixon says or that Dr. Chang says and stuff like that, And also on the other side, with the other side, I shout and I say, a liar, we don't know who to believe, right?
Yes.
We have to have something clean, precise, and know that it's coming from a sober place and an honest place, right? And with Jamaican people, if you're level with them and tell them the truth and say, boy, look here, we're not gonna like this, all right? This is the situation. You level with them, they will say, boy, listen, tell you the truth, and so them understand the situation. They might not like it, but that means they understand the situation. So let me move on to some other things now. Quickly clearing up things.
Yeah.
Mark is being very, very, very coy in saying that the government give themselves a raise. There was a whole public sector increase. The government, the member of parliament and the councillors and the senators are a part of the arms of government, right? So they did not give themselves 300% increase. It's actually 240% increase. You understand me? Persons who are persons. Hold on.
You're splitting hairs,
I don't know why I agitate you guys so much to react. I don't know why.
No, you're splitting hairs.
It's a good thing. That means I'm punching. That means I'm punching.
No.
It's a low blow. It's a low blow. You're not punching. It's a low blow.
It's a part of boxing, right? So
really?
Sylbourne is the referee, right? But no. What I'm saying is that we have to be very careful when we say these things, right? Especially for the MPs, it is calculated a particular way, right? And what we fail to give information, it has been 17 and a half years since they got an increase. 17 and a half years. Hold on, Mark. Hold on. It's about deserve, right? They are also working too. Whether we agree with the type of work that they're doing or not, that's a different issue. I'm saying, if anybody's working in an institution and 17 years pass and you don't get an increase, but yet still you're being demanded to do, and I can give instances where MPs use them personal money for this stuff, which I don't agree with too. To our system of government it is too intimate. I don't agree with that. But it's how
use their own money
it is.
Can I ask you a question, Lester, based on that information? Because I worked in government, and almost every year, especially when you're in a permanent role, you're on a scale, and every year you get an increase.
Yes.
I have friends who are mayors, councillors, etc. And when I was working in the government, they had a salary that was substantial. So these 17 years, you'd make it sound like them they are worth for $50, for 17 years and now they deserve 5 million.
Exactly.
That's not accurate. And I don't understand this narrative you guys are trying to say.
Hold on, Olivia.
We need to trust the government.
Don't affect the increase. Hold on, the increase. Hold on, Olivia.
You're spot on, Olivia.
Hold on. Was the increase a structured negotiated increase? Like what the nurses and the doctors and the teachers do?
No, them give themselves the increase for structured work.
But it is a part of the whole public. Hold on. Guys, hold on. Was it a part of the whole overall public sector increase?
What you're talking about? When they got their increase, or
yes,
when I was working and I got an increase?
When the parliamentarians, senators, councillors, judges, lawyers, doctors, teachers, senior teachers, principal lecturers.
A friend them a look. A friend them a look. Them a look alliances.
But it's not part of the overall public sector restructuring.
It's neither.
Hold on. Olivia, hold on. Olivia. This increase that they had in 2023, right? It should have happened from 1996. The restructure should have happened from then, from that time. Would have been the budgetary support.
I like how you go through the matrix and you really believe them.
No, I'm not going through the matrix. But hold on. I am saying that they never have the increase that they're supposed to have, right? Not just the parliamentarians, because it's a particular level of government that got a particular percentage of increase. It's not just, but people keep saying the parliamentarian judge make more than what the prime minister make. You have heads of agencies who are making more than what the prime minister make. Am I lying?
Lester, who cares?
But I'm saying
Lester, the issue here is Lester, the issue here is we don't care what
the parliamentarians alone.
Hold on now. My focus on the parliamentarians. You are trying to marry the other arms of government into this conversation, which is a very slick. It's a slick way. It's a slick way of aligning untruths with truth to make it more palatable. Brethren, we are speaking specifically about the councillors and the MPs. That is what we're talking about. Don't bring in judge, don't bring in school teacher, because they're not being paid they're not being paid.
But if you're
hold on, Lester.
You're directly lying to my face.
No, hold on. But what I'm saying to you, right, is that we all know that our civil servants are not being paid what they're worth, and it's based on our budgetary constraints. Okay, we understand that. We're not producing anything.
Douglas Orient told me the same thing, Mark.
We're not producing.
Told me that his salary, he thinks he deserves more.
So we are not.
And you want to get 7.5 million
So guess what? If you don't like the job or what am I pay in a government, turn where you're there. Okay? Because I see lawyers and doctors that leave them work for going to government. You understand that? So in other words, it is really not about the money for them. It's really about control of the Jamaica's resources. All that Jamaica has, we're not producing. So here's what happens, right? Jamaica as a country is very valuable. We have a lot of very valuable assets that we got after independence and after the English left us and say, oh, thank you very much, you slaves. Thanks for doing a job well done for hundreds of years. You're now free. And as part of the freedom, I guess we got these assets that they left behind with the king as still of the head of state. Now, what has been going on is that consecutive governments have been coming into our country, have taken over our country, and based on IMF concerns or other concerns, they have liquidated very viable assets that could have made Jamaica in a better financial position today. Look on cement company. Cement company is sold. It's the most ideal location for, I'm in the building industry, okay? So I'm very familiar with the cement company and all that. They're in the most ideal location to manufacture cement. All of the aggregate is right behind the cement company. Right in front of the cement company, you have their own port, which can ship cement all over the world. Now, how do you, in your mind, sell a key element for our economic development as a country, in a development country, that you sell off cement company? Nobody's going to buy an entity that doesn't make a profit. We sold GPS. We have given away most of our most valuable beach access areas to foreigners.
Well,
we don't. And it's not because we're not protesting. We don't know what to protest about because a lot of things are not being transparent. Nobody knows why the cement company is sold. Nobody knows why the JPS is sold, and all of them making money.
Mark, you know that, Mark. Don't be disingenuous, Mark. You know why cement company.
I know, but most people don't know.
But those we don't know, it was very public knowledge. Come on, Mark, don't do that.
Most Jamaicans don't know. Most Jamaicans don't know, bro. Most Jamaicans don't know why these things were done. They don't know why.
We'll have to have a book called A Book of Transparency of historical things for Jamaica, so the Jamaican populace can know. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, I must say it's now 2:00 and it's now Father's Day. Mark, happy Father's Day. Let's happy Father's Day.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, sir.
And to all men on this platform, happy Father's Day as well.
Happy Father's Day.
I think what has actually come out of this is, and let's just sort of, we all hit it on the head, is information, truthful information. Because I can say, whenever I hear Dr. Horace Chang, no disrespect, me laugh, I'm say, me just say, this is what I always say, but I can't believe the Virgin ain't. I just say, and it's not in a very disingenuous way. I just say, we can't take the Virgin as serious. Honestly, listen, just every time I see him talk, I say, we can't take him serious. I'm just saying it. And,
you know Zara Burton?
Yeah.
Personal friend of mine.
Well, check this out. In recent history in Jamaica, she's one of the few people that I've seen done some serious investigative journalism.
Yeah.
But she's been threatened by that. So we don't have enough.
That means her journalism wasn't serious then, because it should present the facts and have the evidence to back it up. Lawsuit can't shut that.
Somebody just said, no, I'm a part of the problem. Somebody just said on TikTok, I'm not a part of the problem. See, you're a part of the problem.
Are you saying that, Mark, she was threatened by the government, or elements of the government, arms of the government, agents of the government?
She received threats based on some of the reporting that she did.
By agents of the government?
You have to understand something, right? Like Rosie said a while ago, when Andrew said that the people who are against NARA are political activists and ignorant. I forgot to throw in ignorant in there. He called us ignorant, by the way. It puts a target on our backs.
Yeah.
It politicizes the process. We can agree to disagree, and it not be because I'm a JLP or a PMP. I've never been a part of any of these organizations. I just came back from from America. This is a Jamaican citizen looking on it objectively.
If you want to say that, Mark. What the hell is going on in my country?
And you know something, when you spend that kind of money to come back to our country in Jamaica, where sometimes I wonder if I should have my head examined, because there are other times that I've had some issues in government and just personal people stealing from you, and that, you know, to come into a country to leave a country that a man never ring your doorbell yet or take anything. You can leave any stuff in the yard and nobody don't care about what you have. To be putting bars on your doors and to be putting cameras and putting all kinds of things to protect yourself. And then to say the government that is supposed to be the leader who sets the moral tone of the country, acting in a manner similar in some cases to the thieves that are there, that prey who live amongst us. It's disheartening, it's frustrating. And when when Andrew talked about us going back, he's looking for the diaspora to go back to Jamaica. He doesn't understand that the diaspora is looking for certain things to be put in place so they can be safe. We want to come back into a country that we're safe. Okay.
Mark. The people that went to Jamaica were part of the diaspora organization, the structure. They seem to be happy down there. They're touching shoulders. They seem to be.
A lot of them are happy to be. A lot of them are retirees who have no social. A lot of them don't. And I might get some trouble saying this. They don't have a social outlet. And to hear a government minister speak to them and they can talk to the government minister, they feel so important. But, you know, I'm not in awe of nobody. All right?
But you know what, Mark?
I'm in awe when you fix my problem. I don't care about. I don't.
You said that word, Mark. Fix.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it lately when I've been hearing about, build and build back better and all of that. Of course, build back better, build, and we want to be like Dubai and wherever else, build. But my God, could we just fix what we've started? Just do that first. Like fix first.
yes.
Fix, and then you see what I'm saying? Because then we get all out of whack because we're not focusing on why we're having a government, why we're there. We want to make our country work for our people.
Well, on that note,
governments have deviated from that.
Well, on that note, it is something which is very fundamental. And as my good friend Olivier said, remember that democracy is not a status sport. Good governance does not happen. Good governance does not happen automatically. Accountability does not happen automatically. Transparency does not happen automatically. We have the 7 Nolan principles. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Rosemary, you can confirm. I think one side of the parties have not signed up to it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It happened when citizens become engaged, informed, and active participants in life, their nation. So how do citizens hold government accountable? That is something that we have been asking about. How do citizens hold government accountable? One of the things I was thinking about was, do they actually write to their MPs, challenge their MPs, petition their MPs? I know a petition was going around, but petition is a form of lobbying, which is a way of actually gaining the momentum, gaining the temperature at the same time, writing letters to your MPs, to your government. Demonstration is also a part of it. By staying informed, democracy cannot function if its people do not know what decisions are made in their name. And Mark, that is the point that you flagged up a while ago. A decision being made about deportees or whatever like that going to Jamaica in the name of Jamaicans, and Jamaicans are asking questions about it, whether it is good or bad. But the way it started, it went through the back door. Second, by asking questions. Government should never fear, and this is it, never fear legitimate scrutiny, and don't see people as bad-minded or them not like me. Accountability begins when citizens demand answer. And I always say to people all the while, just because a government has been voted in power, that doesn't mean to say that's the end where you put your hands up as a child. Let them go on things now. No, that's when you actually get in the whole process. That's when you roll up your sleeve and say, I'm going to work with the government. Third, by participating, attend community meetings. Do they have community meetings or they have one party? Engage with your elected representative. Respond to consultations. Make your voice heard. Fourth, by supporting a free and responsible media. That's the point Lester was flagging up. Journalists play a vital role in shining light on issues that might otherwise remain hidden. It is like the middle ground to a certain extent. Protect them.
Protect our journalists.
Yeah. Fifth, by using the ballot box wisely. Election remains in one of the most powerful tools available to citizens. Voting is not merely a right, it is a responsibility. And finally, by holding everyone to the same standard. Accountability should not depend on political party, personal friendship, social status, or ideology. The standards we apply to one leader should be applied to all leaders. The strength of a nation, Jamaica, is not measured by the power of its government alone. It is measured by the willingness of its citizens to protect the value of honesty, transparency, fairness, and justice. But how do we, inspire and move the populace, the nations to move, whereby, and Mark and Rosemary and Olivia, maybe Lester, you can always be an attest to this. There are people in Jamaica who would want to speak out on certain things, but them don't want to do it. Why? Because the government is the biggest employer, which Mark said earlier, and sometimes people feel, boy, I don't want to say nothing because it will affect me. Am I right or am I wrong?
Absolutely right. I've been told by people on my posts and posts that I've made over the years. Mr. Boy, come on, I like what you're saying about I can't really because them have government contract, and which speaks to a bigger problem. Jamaica is we have not transitioned sugarcane production into anything viable.
Yes.
Yes.
So what the government does to pay its bills is imagine leaving a legacy for a child who is not educated or doesn't understand the how to be economically viable, and you leave all his assets to this child. Because they don't understand innovation and critical thinking. They're not gonna produce. So then pinch what they have until it's completely finished. What Jamaica is doing right now is that we're pinching our assets little by little, selling assets to pay for our top-heavy government. What the government does is the government responds to taxes. What we pay, our asset, our how viable our economy is, they make money from that. Then they're able to provide services.
Yes.
We are providing services without the ability to pay for these services. And when you tap into corruption on top of that, the amount of money that's gone under the radar, and the assets liquidated and sold in our name that we don't know about, it makes a bad situation even worse. Even worse. So at this point, I don't know. I hate to go out on a bad note, but I'm gonna go right back to where we started, and it's all our Jamaica's trajectory will only change when the system that allows the kinds of people to be in government are able to be able to attract the right people. Who are patriotic, we have a recall option if they're not doing a good job. That's a part of the conversation we need to be having about a new constitution.
That's just something.
We need to do that right away, because we don't have much assets left. They're selling all the assets at under the radar. So if we get to a point now where things change.
Mark, you can name one asset themselves?
I just told you two major ones: the cement company and JPS.
Under this government did not sell cement company.
There you go. Back to the.
But are you familiar? What I'm asking,
do you realize? You realize that
you're on a public platform, Mark, and you're saying that this current government is selling assets under the guise, under the radar. Name one that have been sold.
Let me say this to you. Are you familiar with the stock exchange?
Mark, just tell me which one.
I'm gonna get to your question. Are you familiar with the stock exchange?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, you know the reason why the Jamaican stock exchange was so vibrant? One of the main situations was asset liquidation, my youth. We now produce nothing to make Jamaican economy viable. It is good for the investor that is buying assets from our country at a fraction of the cost. But it's no benefit to the Jamaican people who are looking on their resources going to foreign actors. Okay, so you need to understand the economic
what is the asset
in Jamaica.
Sold, Mark? Just me ask.
I'm going to tell you what I know about. Okay, I know that JPS was sold. I know that the cement company was sold. I also know that a lot of the land in the St. Ann area that has a lot of valuable minerals were traded off for the highway.
I asked a question. Since 2016, what asset has this administration sold? I mean, I ask you, everything that you said was sold under the previous administration.
Brethren, Lester. I'm going to answer the question. Lester.
The JLPP.
Let me say this to you.
That's not the issue.
The JLP didn't start running Jamaica at the time that you're talking about. There was a previous JP administration, and this is not about JLP or PMP.
You're
guys. But you're incapable of answering my question. I need let's Mark. Let's wrap it up, because I tell you what.
Sylbourne,
No. We're going to say something, but I want to say something like this: you vote out the government, and the government comes in. The government is the government. So if the government sell it off, it's the government. But we keep getting this whole JLP and PNP thing. I understand. It's a JLP administration or blah blah blah. But JLP and PNP is not even in the Constitution. Both of the names are not in the Constitution. It's a government, and that's a problem, because even right here now on this guy named William, come on, Last night I was on with this guy talking all night, and he said he's a genuine, objective guy, and everything he's saying is JLP. Lie or not tell. I can't deal with these things. It's just pathetic, totally pathetic. Let's say you're cool because I'm a virgin. You know what I mean? We come from afar.
We love Lester. We love all our discussions.
But the point about it is that, listen, one of the things I wanted to say before I come to you, Rosemary, is this: Jamaica future should not be determined by sole politician, ministers, or public officials. It is to be shaped by ordinary citizens who care enough to ask questions. And that's the thing. You sense that people don't like when questions are asked. Don't you know who I am? You don't know who I am? How can you ask the minister? Listen, I was at a diaspora conference many years ago, and it was not under the JP administration. It was under the PNP administration, talking to a lady at one of the stands. And then the lady stopped talking to me, and she was getting all excited and blah, blah. Ooh. And when you look, it was a minister of government passing by with that entourage. She was getting so excited. Literally. And it's like, what is this? I mean, I've been to the House of Commons. I've been to number 10 Downing. I've been to what they call the place, Port Killer's House, Westminster. And you see David Cameron walking by. What's the big deal?
No big deal.
Let's still go to the toilet. You know, demand answers and participate in. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining tonight. Rosemary, I'm going to let you say something.
Still control.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, I just want to say quickly that one of the things that's really holding back any kind of like in-person protest is really, yes, the fear of retribution.
Yes.
We, the Advocates Network, did a 17-day long, I think it was, demonstration. Mark was involved. A lot of other people were involved. I advocated from here every day with my pictures, quarreling about the salary increases. We had people who joined on the first day who on the second day, although it was during their lunchtime, told us that they couldn't. They were told at work that they couldn't. You understand? So, and maybe it was a government ministry where they worked. So I'm just saying this, right? So there this fear. I want to leave with some hope.
Yes.
People, go check out JAMP, the Jamaica Accountability Meter portal.
Yes.
There you can also find the name, the telephone numbers, how you can contact your local representatives.
Yes.
There's also the freedom of, I think it's information, where you can ask for things and be able to get it. Go to the portal. I think the director, Jeanette Calder, was tonight on another show, but she comes on Sylbourne very often to show people how to use it and how to make sure that you can get your voices heard through it and you can know what's going on. It's accountability and it's a meter and you can check on things there, right? So I'm hoping that our politicians with time will embrace advocacy and realize that through that they can really be doing better for our Jamaican people.
Fantastic. Lester, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sylbourne, you know the major problem, the biggest problem we are having in Jamaica?
Yeah.
The people, right? When we have on the voters list, 39% of the voters list participating in the electoral process is an embarrassment to any government at all, anywhere in the world, right? Now, when I'm in Jamaica and I'm in the streets and stuff like that, and you know, it was election time, so I'm in a green shirt and stuff like that, and people come up to me and we have conversations and stuff like that. Many times, a lot of people, whatever age they are, right, they don't understand the government process. They don't understand our structure of government, right? And even when I try to break it down, that there's a separation between like local government and central government and, you know, the senators and just the whole structure and who to ask for what, right? People don't understand. When I speak to particular MPs and I say to them, I ask them, what is your biggest disappointment or surprise on assuming office from the people? You know what they said? They said that they thought that the public would have demanded more things from them. The public come to them with just personal things, but not like a community. You don't have community-based things that are being demanded of them. And a lot of times, you know, they want to do a lot of community initiatives, but guess what happened? How the politics set up. You understand me? It is very intimate. It is very personal to people. And if you try to do something, I will see it with Damien, where Damien lose out to East Rural, right? He tried to do this community-based thing and, bring up the community, right? Yeah. And him lose. You understand me? So the people are the biggest problem. They don't partake in the political. Hold on, no? They don't partake in the political process. They don't partake in the political process. They don't understand the political process, and they don't really care about the political process because a lot of them think that boy nothing can change. You understand me? So the very few of us, like Rosemary, Olivia, myself, you, and other persons who have maybe a little bit more leeway, a little bit more education and time, and to read and research and have a keen more interest in the operations of our country and government. We are the ones who dip on the front line and make the noise, whether 2 or 4 are against, dip on the front line and make the noise, But the rest of Jamaica, they don't really care.
3 minutes, Lester. Thank you so much, Bridget.
Okay. Can I respond to Lester real quick there?
I want to
give me a quick response, Bridget. But Lester get 3 minutes, Bridget, and give me 1 minute. We are dealing, man. Hey. Anyhow, Lester needs to understand that the politicians created that culture of people looking for handouts. Okay. I've always said before that before any decision is made into a constituency, the MP should have a meeting, even with the constituency fund, have a meeting about what he or she recommends for the community, and they have a vote. So guess what? If the majority want a bridge built instead of a football field, the bridge going to get built. And who are they going to blame? Me? No, you got to blame the people who vote for it. So in other words, you take the responsibility away from yourself to the people. And this is a thing that it's a common sense approach to governance, which is why I've always looked on how the government structure, how things work. Like I said to you before, in transparency, if we tell the Jamaican people that, if we don't take in them deportees, they may cut our aid. Put the decision on the Jamaican people. You want the aid cut? Okay, so we're going to take these deportees in. So it takes responsibility away from you, and it puts it on those who are trying to coerce us into doing these things against our will. You shame them. Don't shame yourself. Shame them. They're the ones that put their neck on the block.
Mark, they're not deportees. They're people in transit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to say,
Olivia, you're a bit, and then Rosemary close. Yeah.
Let's talk. I have a big challenge with us blaming our Jamaican people all the time, because I don't know. I think I'm frozen. Can you guys still hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. We. Even like you think about the Beach Control Act, I've always heard Jamaicans are the problem why we can't get access to our beaches. Then when I go to other Caribbean island, I realize, no, that's not necessarily the case. This is something from colonial time that has never changed.
Yes.
Our education system don't teach us about the political system in a way that is engaging. It's very boring. It doesn't stand true. So people don't know about it because it's not taught. It's not because they don't want to know, but we're not educated on it well enough. And it wasn't until I decided to be involved in my community, and my mother was always involved in the community, but it wasn't until like the MP, they had like a whole youth panel discussion with the MPs, and they broke it down for us that I thoroughly understand how government worked. That is when I was in my 20s, done university. You understand? So don't blame people. I have friends who decide that they're not going to vote because they don't care. Because yes, we vote and look what they're doing. They don't care about us. And their approach to people, because I walked with MPs, I walked with councillors during their political campaigning time, and they approach individuals. They have their list and they know, all right, these are my JP people. I need to make sure that them get something. I will go through the one them on the fence and whatever. It's a strategy. Politics is a game. Don't blame us as people who are pawns in these games.
Absolutely. Well put, Olivia. Well put.
Thanks, Olivia.
I don't agree with all that sentiment, but you're right.
No, Lester, we're gonna do that next show. Lester.
Let's say you're on board, Rasta. Let's say you're not talk right now, Lester. Go ahead, Ben. At 2 o'clock
Sylbourne, next show, I would like Rosemary and Mark to say one good thing about this administration. That's that.
Oh my God. Listen, nobody's saying anything bad, that there's nothing good about the administration.
It's a request of mine, Rosemary. Your voice is so beautiful. I would like to hear you say something, one positive thing that you have seen.
Okay. I can say something very good about this administration. I can say to this administration that they have been open and to listening to some kind of advocacy regarding the constitutional change, that they have that they have been open to that. There are some improvements in some things in Jamaica, but it's not enough. And it has to be more intrinsic. It has to be more serious. It has to be caring more for the Jamaican people. I'm not saying that they've never done anything well, but that's what advocates do. We want better. We want it to work for more people. We want it to be more sustainable so it can continue forever for the next generation. So we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop.
Mark. Yeah?
Wait a second. Let me just say my last point. This show is over. And all I'm saying is I've heard the new comment, cultural mind shift. A cultural mind shift is what's coming out of the government right now. And that's a cultural mind shift, I think, that also needs leadership. It needs leadership to take. You see what we're saying about blaming the Jamaican people all the time, because we have to let them want to be participative in our government, but they have to feel like they can benefit from it. So it goes back to it that whatever prosperity and whatever going on and whatever, we have to get rid of the things that are cutting out Jamaica or putting them at a barrier where they can't become beneficiaries of that. And that's when we can work towards Jamaicans just loving each other. Jamaicans not killing each other, because guess what? We are Jamaicans. We want to unite around that new kind of a patriotism.
Oh, yes, my sister. Oh, yes, my sister.
So we have to bring ourselves, we have to work on it, and we need leadership. We need our community leaders. We need the church. We need everyone to be loud about it for our new level of consciousness. And when the politicians are there and then we're not seeing the benefits and everything, then we're frustrated to the point that sometimes we think it's deliberate. And that is very colonial. And colonialism was never designed for justice, development, nor democracy. It's everything that's evil, violent, abusive, extractive, hierarchical, non-democratic, all of that. So we have to take the colonialism out of our present forms of government.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Lester.
Can I just answer Lester real quick? Lester.
You're talking Lester, you're going to bring Lester back in?
No, but him asked me what good the Jamaica...
Okay.
JLP, Lester, I was so happy when the JLP beat the PNP when Andrew came into power, because I was against all the things that the PNP were doing. I was always on the phone advocating against the Goat Island sale or asset liquidation. I was going through all of that, and I felt that they were acting with a level of impunity because they believed they couldn't be beaten. JLP did us a big favor, but I must be honest with you, my brother. I am very disappointed in their leadership. I put aside my preferences. My preferences is really under the Michael Manley kind of democratic.
We know.
Hold on, boss. That's not the same JLP that we have today.
You nullify the plus. You nullify the plus, by saying but, Mark.
No, hold on. Yeah, but what I said, all right, is that I have to clarify my position where I'm coming from. Yes. I'm a Michael Manley kind of PNP person, but I'm not a partisan political type person. When Andrew came in, I was so happy. I was like, as a young youth, maybe give him a chance. My same father was a comrade, a Michael Manley comrade. Said, well, probably have some pedigree. So I was like all in, and I was happy that he won. Now, I'm a little disappointed because I expected more because I believe that we are
Mark, you're gonna
capable.
disappointment, Mark. I'm going to say one good thing. You're gonna have a disappointment.
Yeah, Mark,
No,
that's a point. Mark, that's a point. You should have just left it there. You shouldn't have said no
Yes,
buts.
yes.
Just leave it there, Mark.
But
No, Mark. No.
whoever our prime minister is, we're gonna respect them. We're
absolutely,
gonna, yes,
absolutely.
wherever we are in the
Absolutely.
world, that's our prime minister, and we're gonna support them. But we still are gonna do our advocacy. We always want better.
Hold them accountable.
And we welcome the
Point-
advocacy.
point-
We welcome the
point.
advocacy.
Point well taken. Because that's people need to understand that advocacy is not because you're a PMP or anything. I think
Exactly.
you're just a Jamaican who want a better country.
And I think we have a mandate. We have a mandate to help and to equip our people
Yes.
to be able to ask questions and somehow
Of course.
frame it in a certain way whereby they don't have to feel threatened in certain way. And if we have to be a voice, if we got to be a voice and let them ask, let us be the conduit. If we got to be the conduit, well, we got to be the conduit, if anything, you know. And as I said, we got to have the citizens of Jamaica to shape Jamaica, and for them to care enough to ask questions, demand, answer, and participate in building a better nation. Therefore, government need to work with the people, walk with the people, talk with the people, you know, whatever, you know. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Good night. God bless. And final is a government accountable to its people builds trust. A people engaged in their democracy build nation. And nation building is what we want. Rosemary, I want to thank you so much for coming. Mark, Bridget, Lester, original.
It was a pleasure. We can talk to each other without to kill each other. We can talk to each other and we can still love each other, right?
Exactly.
Great program. Love Olivia's perspectives. I mean,
yes, Olivia.
Spot on, sister. Spot on.
Yes, and Olivia is president. Where are you, Olivia? Should I say?
I'm in Scotland. I'm in Edinburgh.
She was crying a while ago because she got caught up in Scotland and they didn't win. I don't know if you got that.
No, I don't. I'm not following. I don't support any colonial team.
African brothers to the world.
What's the breaking news?
Olivia, do you know that Cameron is a Scottish name? Cameron.
I have no idea about the Scottish
David Cameron.
David Cameron. We have to be on our guard because the far right is uprising. So
yes, all over
no. What's the breaking news? What's the breaking news, Rosemary?
Breaking news: UK PM Keir Starmer is set to resign anytime from now.
I know that a long time. You said that this morning.
Okay.
No. Not saying it based on my political antenna. I know he's gonna go because the wave is against him and stuff like that. It's gonna be Andy Burnham. And guess what? This is my next thing. This is one of my next thing. You can buy me a Heineken Lester for that. Next year, 2027, there's gonna be a general election. Because guess what? The press is going to be hounding Andy Burnham and say, you do not have a personal mandate. And guess what, guys? This is what you guys have to be scared about. We're in the UK. There could be a reform government, if anything, which is Trump baby too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
So that's the whole thing.
Olivia, you should get Olivia. Let's link up too. I think I linked up already with Lester.
I will give you. I think I said it, but I'll send the link, Olivia.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
Olivia, nice talking to you. I never know. Are you there?
Yeah, 6 months now. Just doing my PhD.
Okay. I'm in the Netherlands.
Yeah, she don't care. She don't care about that. She don't care about where you're the virgin. No matter come with that. She don't care about that. She don't care. Don't care.
I'm my boss. I'm a neighbor.
Go about the
I'm a
business.
neighbor.
Go about the business, Bridget. Go about the business. A friend you look. Go about the business.
Mark, you still have the colonial PMP bad mind thing there from the 70s.
That word bad mind. That word bad mind. Oh my God.
It should be more DK like it and manly like it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a good one. All right. Peace out. God bless.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Those on TikTok, those on Instagram, I want to thank you so much for joining. Thank you to guests, Mark and Rosemary and Olivia.
Okay, Rosemary.
All the way from Germany, all the way from the USA, all the way from Netherlands and Scotland, and so international diaspora. This was a real diaspora meeting, actually. I must confess. Yeah. This was a real diaspora meeting, isn't it, Lester? Not the pian one, not the Mavina Jamaica, isn't it?
Hey, man, let's start another show in a virgin. Mine start another show, you know. Mine start another show.
Listen, man. Listen.
That's for another time.
I was about to say that when I was campaigning for the mayor recently, I was standing in a place called New Cross, and this guy was saying to me, "Man, Sylbourne, I like you, man, but I can't vote for you, because you're a genocide sympathizer."
Wow.
You know what Lester said? Lester said a lot of people do not understand the whole differences between local and national. So that person was taking it from a national level and not from a local level at the same time, because of course the party that I'm with didn't oppose the Iran war, so that's how people thinking. So it's not just in Jamaica only that people think a certain particular way, as well, But anyway, that's another show for next time. We look at it.
Thank you, Sylbourne. Thank you for doing what you do.
Pleasure's mine, Rosemary.
Yeah, man. Great show.
Thank you, Mark. Respect.
Thank you, Rosemary. Take care.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.